We're up early. Check out of our hotel in Manizales and hit the road. Our first stop is Hacienda el Bosque, a rufous collared sparrow who greets us with a song. We're at Hacienda el Bosque, the forest ranch. From the top of the hacienda property, we get an expansive view. Our local guide, Christiane, says, "Hurry, the ant pitta is waiting for us." We hurry across the pasture and switch back down into the forest. The ant pitta didn't wait for us, but a white-browed spinetail was happy to get the worms Christiane had brought. We find out that Christiane is on a first-name basis with the birds here. The spinetail's name is Simone. This brushfinch was happy to get worms too. I'm sure Christiane knows his name, but I didn't catch it. Back to the restaurant for a hearty breakfast. We're back to the forest. Christiane calls and this mountain wren flies in. Christiane introduces him as Rafa. Christiane drops some mealworms and Rafa goes after them. "Is that all you brought me?" Next to arrive is Rafa's close cousin, the grass wren. His name is Hernando, and he wants worms too. Seems like everyone wants in on the action. Next to arrive is a yellow-bellied chat tyrant, a big name for a tiny bird. His name is Santos, and he's happy with his worms. But he hangs around, hoping for more. And Christiane complies, contributing to Santos' roundness. A couple of brush finches show up. I'm sure Christiane knows their names, but I didn't catch them. There are beautiful, bright green, pigeon-sized birds appeared, and we're happy to take some of Christiane's mealworms. They are barred fruit eaters. As their name implies, their diet consists of fruit and an occasional mealworm. They're found in the Andes, from Venezuela to Bolivia. Christiane says it's time to visit the hummingbird set, and we're welcomed by a collared Inca. They're impressive flyers and feed on the fly. The buff-tailed coronets seem a little more laid back here. They're hanging out on the perches. Sparkling violet ears are also posing on the perches. Christiane has set up some flowers, and a sword-billed hummingbird is trying them out. They never cease to amaze. Just like a ray of sunshine, the shining sunbeam can only make you happy. They seem to prefer flowers that match their color scheme. But if it has to come out to a feeder, that's okay too. The light's not often right to see their iridescent feathers on their back. Wood stars are here too, with their bumblebee-like buzz. This is the first time we've seen the buff-winged star frontlet since the Hummingbird Observatory, probably because they like elevation around 9,800 feet. Around the hummingbird set, we have some lurkers, thanks to some cracked corn scattered on the ground. Great thrushes are patrolling the more substantial perches. Then the guans arrive to see if there's any bananas out. They're fruit eaters. The Andean guan, as the name implies, can be found in the Andes over 5,000 feet, from Venezuela through Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru to Bolivia. The sickle-winged guan has a similar distribution. Time has flown by, and it's lunchtime, so we're headed back to the restaurant at the top of the property. Sherry wanted something light, so she ordered the chicken soup. What she got was a bowl of hearty chicken stock and a plate full of things to add to it. I had a very filling chicken and potato stew with vegetables on the side. And now for the grand finale. Christian says we have the toucan show. The performers are gray-breasted mountain toucans. They can be found in the Andes between 7,000 and 12,000 feet in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. And they really love their grapes. Christian has tied a cluster of grapes to a branch, making the toucans work for their treats. They need to toss back a few more grapes before Christian plays games with them again. Toucans have some competition for the grapes. The great thrush likes grapes also. But it's the hooded mountain tanager that's determined to eat every last grape. And if there are any grapes left, the guans will get them. Finally, if the guans leave anything, the squirrels will finish it. That brings the curtain down at Hacienda el Bosque, and we head for our next adventure, Termales del Ruiz. It takes an hour over windy roads to get to our home for 2 nights, Termales del Ruiz, Ruiz Hot Springs Hotel. The hotel was built in 1937, featuring thermal baths. Today it's been remodeled and upgraded, but you can still see the 1937 structure. The cloud cover and the steam from the mineral springs made any photography tonight marginal. So we settled in, unloaded the cameras, had a nice dinner, and got to bed early. In the morning, we enjoyed a hearty breakfast. Sherry ordered a large bowl of fruit, and I went traditional with eggs, chorizo, and red beans and rice. Today we're headed uphill to the Los Nevados National Park. Los Nevados translates to the snowy capped peaks. The road goes up and up some more. The U-shaped valleys are the result of ancient glacial activity. It's official. We're in the park. The park features Colombia's highest active volcanoes. There are 10 peaks over 14,800 feet, with the highest, Nevado del Ruiz, standing at 17,500. The park was closed temporarily in 2023 for fear of an eruption, which didn't happen. The northern Andean Paramos surrounds the peaks of Los Nevados, from the tree line at roughly 9,800 feet to the snow line at 16,000. It consists of grasslands, scrublands, and bogs. Due to its isolation, there's a high percentage of endemic species. These large succulent plants, called frailejones, literally big monks, are native to the Paramo ecosystems in Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. The hairy leaves capture water vapor from passing clouds and release it into the soil through its roots. Dorian reminds us that we're birding, and this is what we're looking for, a buffy helmet crest. It's only found on Nevado del Ruiz. This unusual hummingbird is considered vulnerable. It is estimated that there are only about 1,000 individuals who live on Nevado del Ruiz. They feed on insects and the nectar of the flowers of the frailejones. The helmet crest is not the only bird in this subalpine ecosystem. The Andean tit spinetail lives in the Paramos between 9,800 and 13,800 feet. We've seen the gray thrush many places. Its range covers the Andes from Venezuela to Bolivia, from 6,000 to 13,000 feet of elevation. The Sierra finch has a similar range. Dorian says we should do some more field birding on the road back to the hotel. Uriel drops us off a mile or so from the hotel. The birds are scarce, but the flora is very interesting. This plant forms a dense mat that retains moisture. The flora in this subalpine ecosystem is highly endemic. 86% of the flowering plant species are found nowhere else. This is the Paramos version of the paintbrush plant common in the western United States. This plant's only found in the Paramos of Colombia and Ecuador. Another plant endemic to the Paramos. Much of the Paramos is grasslands, so there's some interesting grasses growing along the road. Dorian and Alex are excited to report an Andean condor sighting. Gunneria species have found their way into North American gardens, noted for their large leaves. This variety is native to the Paramos of Colombia and Ecuador. It looks like a plant that dinosaurs would be feeding on. This fuchsia is native to the volcanoes of Colombia and Ecuador. We're back at Termales del Ruiz. We briefly stopped by our rooms before meeting at the birding sets above the main pool. At one of the hummingbird feeders, there's a great sapphire wing dwarfing a shining sunbeam. There's plenty of vegetation for perches, and bananas for the tanagers. And grapes, too. This puffleg is new to us. And so is this brush finch. And I think this is the first time we've seen this tanager, too. And definitely the first time for this unusual hummingbird. The great sapphire wing is the second largest hummingbird at 7.5 inches long. Then back to the room to unload the cameras and to the restaurant for dinner. It'll be a long day tomorrow. Before we leave, we have an appointment with an ant pitta. This little guy is a tawny ant pitta. We were entertained by it for quite a while as it danced around its forest set. We settle in for a long drive today. It's back through Manizales and then down the river valley to Buga with 2 stops along the way, one for lunch and the second for birds. The clouds clear long enough to see the glacier and snow-covered summit of Nevados del Ruiz. The view from the road features forest-covered hills separated by deep valleys. Our birding stop is in La Union at the National Park of the Grape. This seems a little odd since we're used to national parks for natural wonders, but this area is one of the leading producers of fruit in Colombia, especially grapes. This national park recognizes the area's agricultural significance and celebrates its past, present, and future. But we didn't stop here to taste the wine or explore the agricultural history of the area. We're here for the ruby topaz hummingbird. Spoiler alert, we never saw the ruby topaz. Instead, we found the rufous-tailed. They were new to us, but Dorian was very disappointed. The good news was that the rufous-tailed hummingbird was very accommodating and posed for us on the aloe vera. Then we spotted a few more birds. And when we couldn't find birds, some bugs will do. And if we can't find bugs, then flowers. Then we wake up the cat to pose for us. We still have a ways to go from the National Park of the Grape to Buga. We check into the Hotel Guadalajara in Buga. It's well worn, but we're only here for one night.